Her husband raised his hand against her at the holiday table in front of the whole family. But suddenly, her 10-year-old son Noah stood up with his tablet and uttered a phrase that left everyone stunned, while her husband turned pale with horror. Like this video if you've ever been through something like this in your own life. Okay, let's enjoy the story. Olivia decided. This year, New Year's will be normal anyway, no matter what. She washed the windows until they sparkled, found a spotless tablecloth in the closet, sorted through the ornaments. Her son Noah was snapping photos of everything on his tablet. The ornaments, the cat, the shadows from the garland. "This one's cracked but pretty," he commented. "Hang it higher up." The kitchen smelled of orange zest and fried onions. Cabbage rolls bubbled in the saucepan. The duck was finishing in the oven. Olivia worked quickly, like on an assembly line, and caught herself filling the emptiness in her head with actions. In her mind, the word later stirred. Later, Blake's parents would arrive. Later, his brother with his new girlfriend. Later, but today, she forbade herself from thinking about later. The door lock clicked. Blake entered, smelling of expensive cologne and frost. Bags with logos in his hands, a wide smile, a resonant voice. "What beauty," he said, kissing Olivia on the temple. Queen of the kitchen, Noah, Buddy, were on high alert. Water the tree. Grab those lower glasses. "Already did," Noah replied without looking up. On his screen was an unfinished video edit. He loved piecing together fragments into a whole. Blake hummed approvingly and took charge. The china, candles, straightened the tablecloth. He knew how to bring the holiday and just as easily take it away. Coats were already piled in the entryway. It smelled of his mother's perfume and cold. His father joked about traffic. Aunt Clara deftly unpacked jars of olives. Blake's brother laughed loudly. Noah set his tablet on the dresser. Olivia smiled at him. They sat down. On the table was everything familiar. Olivier salad, herring under a fur coat, duck, cheese, tartlets. The TV glowed blue. In the corner, the countdown to New Year ran. Blake poured champagne, gave quick toasts, light and charming. He was always perfect at the start. To us, he raised his glass, to family, to what we build with our own hands. Olivia clinked carefully. She saw how with each toast, Blake's voice changed. From warm to metallic, from cheerful to demanding. She knew these turns. At 11:30, Brooke called. Her friend. "Happy New Year," Olivia said into the phone. She stepped to the window and whispered her reply. Then Blake noticed. His smile stayed, but his eyes hardened. "Who was that?" he asked when she returned. "Brooke, congratulating us. We're all family here," he smiled. "No need to whisper." "Blake, dear," his mother said softly. "Come on. They have their own talks." "Of course," his brother snorted. Jealous of the phone. Laughter at the table, awkward like a creaking stool. Noah poked at the cheese with his fork and glanced at his tablet. The TV host prepared for the chimes. Blake looked at the screen, then at Olivia. "Have another sip," he pushed her glass. "To us now, I'll turn off the kettle later." "Later the kettle," he said evenly. "Now with me." She sipped. He took a big gulp and leaned closer. "Olivia, a toast." Almost tenderly, but demandingly. "What are you thanking your husband for?" Olivia paused. "For home. For being together and trying to hear each other." "Trying. How's that?" Blake smiled with the corner of his mouth. "Sometimes you don't hear at all. Like right now. For example." He set down his glass and grabbed her elbow. "Too tight. That hurts," Olivia whispered. "Let go." "It's a holiday," he replied just as quietly, smiling. "Smile." Olivia was already preparing her escape phrase. The kettle's boiling when he raised his palm and struck, ringing in her head, hot pain on her cheek. The glass clinked but stayed upright. His mother gasped. His father shoved back his chair sharply. Aunt Clara covered her mouth with her hand. The TV counted down to midnight, showing happy people. Noah stood up. Just stood. No jerk. No drama. The tablet was in his hands. Face calm, gaze adult. He took a step from the dresser to the table. His mother whispered, "Sweetie." Blake barked, "Sit down." Noah didn't sit. "I recorded everything," he said. 5 words, straight as a ruler. No threat, just fact. Blake's face turned white as a porcelain plate. "Olivia, holding her cheek, breathed fast and loud. Noah turned the tablet screen to everyone. On video, their kitchen a week ago. Blake's voice. "We'll talk later." A slap. "Moms, not in front of the child." Second file. Audio. "Don't raise your voice. I'm not yelling." Third. Reflection in the china cabinet glass. Sharp gesture. Olivia stepped back. Dates, times, clear labels. His father said hoarsely, "Enough." But not to his son, to the years of silence. "Turn it off!" His mother pleaded in a half voice, then added firmer, "No, let him watch." "One more time and I'll leave myself," Blake rasped. "You all done?" "One more time and I'll send it," Noah repeated without raising his voice. "To the teacher, psychologist, hotline, everywhere it needs to go." Fireworks exploded outside. In the room, no one shouted, "Hooray!" The TV host wished love and understanding. Outside, someone launched fireworks. Inside, silence, like after thunder. Olivia saw Blake had no one to lean on. The usual ground, they'll stay quiet, gone. He looked at the tablet, at Noah, at Olivia. And in his eyes, for the first time, not as it should be, but fear. Not for name or status, but for loss of control. His father walked around the table and stood by his grandson, not blocking, but supporting. Placed a hand on his shoulder. Aunt Clara dropped her hand from her mouth and for once found nothing to say. Blake's brother cursed quietly, without bravado. His mother sat straight, as if an old pendulum switched on inside her. Must endure. Olivia pressed a napkin to her cheek. The pain, real and sober. She looked at her son. He stood calm, holding his gaze. And for the first time in ages, she felt not guilt, not fear, not later, but support. 5 words, and their family had a door, not just walls. "Noah," she said, "thank you." "I'm right here," he replied. "And it's all saved." "Blake," his father said evenly. "Sit." Blake didn't sit. He backed to the wall with the china, ran a hand over his face, as if wiping off someone else's features. His voice returned, dull, without frills. "Why did you do this?" "Because it's not the first time," Noah answered. "It's again. And so it ends again." Olivia heard in that word the main crack in their home. Again what they'd endured so long, masked, ashamed of. And she understood. It wouldn't pass further, not through this evidence, through this voice. The TV finished its speech. Outside, the last salvos fired. In the apartment, you could hear the water cooling in the kettle. Olivia turned to Blake calmly, like to a patient with a clear diagnosis. "We'll talk after the holiday," she said. "And do what's needed, without later." In her voice, no threat, just a plan. Noah set the tablet on the table. The red recording dot faded. His father nodded to his grandson. "Right." His mother closed her eyes and opened them. And in those eyes, for the first time, no excuses. "Happy New Year," Olivia said quietly. She poured tea, set cups before her son and his father. Blake stood by the wall, motionless. His, as it should be, crumbled like tinsel from an old box. At the table, no one clinked, but inside Olivia, for the first time in years, a real toast to a year where again turns to never again. And that was enough for the night to stop being just a holiday and become a beginning. Morning met with silence. No mandarin scent, no laughter, no neighbor's usual door slams. Just heavy air in the apartment, as if the walls had breathed in the night's quarrel. Olivia woke first. Her cheek still burned, not from pain, from memory. She quietly looked at her son. Noah slept on the living room couch, curled up, tablet nearby, like a guard. Under the blanket, his hand stuck out, clenched in a fist. Even in sleep, he held something inside. Blake lay in the bedroom, his breathing even, but too taut, like someone not sleeping, pretending. Olivia knew. He always feigned calm when he lost. She got up, went to the kitchen, turned on the kettle. The water hissed, echoing yesterday's sound. At 10 a.m., his mother entered the kitchen in her robe, eyes red, not from wine, from sleeplessness. Sat, stared at the table. "Olivia," she began quietly, "I don't think. I love my son. But what happened yesterday?" She sighed. "I always stayed silent. Thought family means everyone lives like that. But yesterday, Olivia looked straight. I don't want Noah living in this. Not everyone lives like that. His mother lowered her eyes. He scared me yesterday. Blake, I never saw him like that. All white. She paused. I'm proud of my grandson. He did what we didn't dare. Olivia handed her a cup of tea. She took it with both hands, as if warming up. Blake came out closer to noon, head down, steps even. He poured himself coffee, not looking at his wife or son. Sat at the table, exhaled noisily. Yesterday, he started. Yesterday I was wrong. Silence. But you, he glanced at Olivia. You made me look ridiculous in front of family. I was surprised, she said. I stayed silent. Exactly. Blake clenched his fist. You should have, shut the kid up. And you stood there and let it happen. He nodded toward the couch where Noah sat with his tablet. You let the child dictate to his father. Noah looked up. I wasn't dictating. I told the truth. Blake grimaced. You're too young to understand. I'm old enough to remember, Noah replied calmly. In the kitchen, it got so quiet you could hear the janitor's broom scraping outside. Olivia stood between them. Enough, Blake. You need to understand. This isn't about looking ridiculous. It's about not going on like this. Blake stood abruptly. The cup tipped. Coffee spilled on the tablecloth. You've already judged me, he shouted. Even my own son. And left, slamming the door. After he left, the apartment seemed to exhale. Noah sat by his mother. Mom, he said quietly. I didn't just say it yesterday. I have it all saved. I've been doing this for a while. Olivia looked at him, stunned. For a while? Since fall. You thought I was just on the tablet, but I was recording because I knew you wouldn't say it yourself. Tears welled in her eyes. She hugged her son tight, as if she could shield him from the world. I'm sorry you had to grow up too soon. Noah shrugged. Better this way than again. That evening, his father arrived, sat silently, looked at his grandson. Noah, he said, you're brave. He hesitated. I stayed silent once too, for many years. You did what I didn't, and I respect you. Noah nodded. Adult words lay heavy on him, but he didn't turn away. Olivia saw for the first time the old man not defending his son, not excusing, but acknowledging truth. We'll talk to Blake, his father added. But you two must decide how to go on. Olivia looked at her son and knew the decision had ripened. The night was quiet again. Blake didn't return till morning. Olivia sat on the balcony, holding a cup of cold tea. She recalled Noah's words, better this way than again, and for the first time allowed herself to think, maybe again can really be stopped? Not with scandal, not threats, but a step, a real step. And this step would be their first in the new year. Morning met with silence, but not the kind after a holiday deaf and sticky. Olivia opened her eyes before the alarm and immediately felt the weight on her cheek. In the bathroom, the mirror reflected a bluish mark. She looked at herself longer than usual, and for the first time, didn't try to justify what happened. It wasn't, he snapped, not tired of fact. In the kitchen, the kettle boiled, and Olivia automatically got 3 cups, stopped, put one back. The cups clinked, and that simple motion was louder than many words. Noah came out sleepy, hair sticking up, tablet in hand. He sat nearby and, without looking straight, said, Mom, I'm not scared. Olivia touched his shoulder. Yesterday he protected her with words she hadn't dared say. She wanted to cry, but smiled. I know. Closer to noon, his father appeared with a heavy gaze. He took off his hat, sat at the table, silent long, then said, I thought all night. We adults stayed silent, thought, family means endure. But it turned out endurance broke the family. He looked straight at Olivia. I'll support any decision you make. Those words landed solid as brick. No persuasions, no excuses, just support. After lunch, Brooke stopped by. She didn't pry, just said, need to make a plan. Lawyer, statements, documents. Olivia nodded. Inside, scary. But for the first time, that fear didn't paralyze it, pushed forward. They made a list. Passports, certificates, medical report, bruise photo, record copies. Noah silently uploaded everything to a flash drive. He acted calm, like an adult. Olivia watched and thought, "You learn to be strong too soon." That evening, Blake came, knocked. That was already unusual. He sat at the table, placed his palms before him. "I was wrong," he said dully. "I'm ready to fix it. Psychologist. Therapy. Give me a chance." Olivia looked at him. In his voice, confusion for the first time. But she knew. Those "give a chance" she'd heard dozens of times in different forms. "Let's postpone. Let's forget. Give more time." "Blake," she said calmly, "I'm filing for divorce." He jerked his head up. "Because of one time?" "It's not one time," she replied. "It's a system, and even one is too many." He leaned back in the chair, clenched fists. Silence hung in the room. Only the clock ticked. "I don't know how to live without you," he squeezed out. "You didn't live with us," Olivia said calmly. "You lived beside and over us. Try separate now." At that moment, Noah appeared in the doorway, tablet in hands, but screen dark. "Dad," he said firmly, "I'll be with Mom, but I'm not against you. I'm against what was. If you change, we can talk. But without again." Those words sounded older than his age. Blake looked at his son, and for the first time in his eyes, not anger, just fear and confusion. "I'll try," he said quietly. Noah nodded, and that nod was more important than any words. Late evening, his mother came. Tense, habitual smile on her face. Family should. She opened her mouth, but Blake cut in. "Mom, no need. Enough gluing. This is all because we always pretended." His mother sank into the chair and unexpectedly said, "Then I'll just be Grandma." Her voice trembled, and for the first time in ages, she didn't excuse her son. Olivia felt the walls in their home starting to change. That night, Olivia opened her laptop, filled out the application, dates, facts, document copies. Her hand shook, but each word was a step. She hit send and closed her eyes. Inside, quiet without expectations. Just silence where you can breathe. Noah came and sat nearby. "Mom, now it'll be different?" "Yes," she said. "Now we have life without fear." He smiled childlike for the first time in these days. And Olivia understood. The decision was made not just in documents, it was made in their family. Life at Brooks started with simple sounds. Morning, kettle whistle, newspaper rustle under the door, cat purring as it sat on the backpack. In this apartment, no sense of danger. You could leave a cup on the table, say, "I'm tired," and not wait for an explosion. Olivia got used to new rules. On the fridge, a to-do list. School, lawyer, club, walk. For the first time, words like rest and sleep appeared among tasks. She learned not to justify basic human needs. Blake wrote rarely, only business. Picking Noah up Saturday at 12, back at 6. She replied, "Good. Don't forget hat." This dry exchange was a step forward. No pressure, just facts. The first court hearing went quick. Judge looked at documents, photos, records, asked if sides ready for agreement. Olivia answered, "Yes, on visitation schedule." Blake added, "I'm seeing a psychologist." Judge nodded. Set next date. They left the hall silent. For Olivia, that silence freeing. No need to justify or fear. All in order. Noah changed too. Tablet now for Media Club. He edited videos, shot neighbor interviews about the yard. His family recordings stayed on the flash drive, but he touched it less. In meetings with Dad, Noah set terms. Movie without mom talk. Blake agreed. Sometimes awkwardly, sometimes with pause, but agreed. For the boy, important. First time he felt heard. Olivia started therapy. There, asked to map supports. She wrote, Noah, job, Brooke, his father, rules, saying no. Last, silence without fear. And understood, that's what was missing all these years. His father visited, helped with papers, spoke little but repeated, "You did right." His mother avoided at first, then came once and said, "I'll be grandma, not judge." That was enough. At second hearing, court dissolved marriage, approved agreement, alimony, visitation, Holiday order. Olivia listened, heart lighter. Not victory, not defeat. New order. Blake in hallway said, "I don't know living alone, but learning." Olivia replied simply, "Learn. It's your road." Wall calendar became guide. Green days, dad meetings. Yellow, mom. Blue, joint. No one broke. Dry system rid extra fights. Once Noah spoke at school class hour, told about speaking up on home problems. After, a boy approached quietly, thanked. Olivia heard that evening, understood. Son carries strength further, without fear. Spring, they had small party. Brooke brought cake, his father good tea, his mother apples. Blake stopped by briefly, gave Noah a bag. All at one table, and this time no shouting. Simple. Late evening, Olivia wrote in notebook. Was scary, became calm, ahead, honest. She looked at sleeping son, and for first time in ages thought, "We're home."